up in the morning and just wanted एक गरम चाय की प्याली बस नींद से उठने के लिए. Or have you ever gone to your dog and just shaked his belt and been like walk and find him instantly happy and waggling his tail? Well, all thanks to the fascinating concept of classical conditioning, a secret code that both humans and animals share for learning through association. आज हम घुसने वाले हैं Pavlov के experimental room में to understand how this guy created such a cool concept. Imagine Dr. Pavlov, a brilliant scientist. He rings a bell every time he feeds his furry friend. Soon, even before the food arrives, the dog starts salivating at the sound of the bell alone. That's classical conditioning. Let's start studying the big ABCs. Acquisition before connection. Acquisition. This is where the real magic happens. Imagine two stimulus, the food and the bell. So in the process of acquisition, these two stimuluses are paired together. Food being our neutral stimulus and bell being our unconditional stimulus. Before. This will help you remember that the bell comes before the food. Consistency is the key. Always before the food. C stands for connection. The bell, a conditional stimulus triggering a conditional response, that is salivation, even without the food. So this is the connection establishment. Now let's move to Act 2. Classical conditioning isn't just about Pavlov and his drooling dog. It can help us understand our everyday life, our phobias, how we get food aversions, how we are scared of certain things, and a lot of other ways. For example, hearing a loud thunderclap after seeing the lightning might help us develop a fear of storms, or a beautiful melody played during your first love might evoke warm emotions every time you hear it. It's used in therapies to treat phobias, train animals, and even create effective advertising campaigns. Now let's learn the main elements. These words do sound similar to each other, but the main way of remembering them is the part 1 is unconditional. Unconditional everything. Unconditional stimulus, unconditional response. Part 2 is the conditioned everything. Conditional stimulus, conditional response. So the one difference between these two is that the part 1, that is before the association has happened and before you learn, you have a neutral stimulus. Now let's take the most easiest way to understand this, that is our Pavlov and uska kutta. So in Pavlov's experiment, the neutral stimulus, that is anything that is neutral in the everyday setting, is the food. कुत्ते को रोज खाना मिल रहा है, the food becomes your neutral stimulus. Okay? Now the unconditional stimulus, that is अभी तक conditioning हुई नहीं है, इसलिए it's called unconditional stimulus, will be your bell. Okay? So the bell plus the neutral stimulus, the food, leads to salivation. That is your unconditional response. Why unconditional? Conditional हुई नहीं है, pairing हुई नहीं है, connection बना नहीं है, acquisition हो रहा है. This is where the pairing is occurring. The phenomena happens again and again and again. The bell becomes your conditional stimulus because association हो गया है, conditioning हो गई है. That leads to salivation, your conditional response. One of the really cool things, I think I saw it in a meme or something, was it went like, how did I get a girl to like me through classical conditioning? Every time this guy, let's call him John, met Priya, every time John met Priya, he gave her a chocolate. Okay? And then Priya became happy because Priya likes chocolates. Okay? So, John being the unconditional stimulus, chocolate being the neutral stimulus, Priya's happiness becoming the unconditional response. So this pairing kept happening again and again. Every time John met Priya, he gave her a chocolate, she got happier, and eventually she just got happy seeing John. Now I don't know how much this meme was really real or not, but let me know if you try that. But it's kind of cool how you can use theories of classical conditioning in everyday life.